This scientist named Dr. James Rogan worked for the United States Air Force, working with pilots, accelerating them in a centrifuge.
I don't know where I am. I'm fucking panicking now. I'm panicking. Fucking freaking out more than any I've ever... breathing hard. Bang! Hit my head on the fucking ceiling.
It's very peaceful, but I definitely don't think it's the end. I think it's the beginning.
The tracks were here to jump in the cab. I leapt up and over to try to grab onto it and got sucked under the whole thing. So it's the whole length of it, just kind of. So there's like a set of wheels that turn these tracks. You see,
they call that the Widowmaker and shit. 80%, 80-20. I sat there going like, these are the weirdest odds I've ever had in my life. I figure like, look, you leave the house.
Like I just don't feel like me. I don't know. I feel weird, and I just don't feel like myself. So I just flushed him down the toilet one day.
There are moments in life when you realize we're only one breath away from death, from being crushed under tons of steel, lost in the suffocating darkness of a cave, to the sudden shock of the Widowmaker heart attack. Each story reveals a chilling truth. Life is far more fragile than we ever imagined. Yet strangely, in the middle of unbearable pain and overwhelming panic, many describe surreal moments where they swear they saw the light, felt peace, and even glimpsed a doorway into another world. And when they came back from the edge of death, they were never the same again.
Things like that. So
now, in your book, did you go over near-death experiences?
I do, yeah. I have a chapter on that, yeah.
What do you think is going on? Like when people, like the ones that have fascinated me are people in the hospital bed that see their body from above, and you're dealing with a bunch of chemicals that are released in the body, right? There's morphine and all sorts of different things, you know, psychedelic chemicals and all these different things that are happening while your brain is basically on the edge of death.
Right. So it's important to remember that they're near-death experiences. You're not actually dead. So there's a liminal transitional stage there where you're sliding into some other state of consciousness, an altered state of consciousness. And we know that if you inject or you take hallucinogens, you know, those are molecules that operate on a lock and key mechanism with the synapses in your brain, in your neurons. So if these external drugs work in this molecular lock and key mechanism, there must be natural chemicals similar molecularly to that in the brain already, just in smaller doses. So one theory about near-death experiences is that this is a way of transitioning from living to dead without feeling anxious and falling apart and upset and depressed or whatever. It's kind of a smooth, feel-good, you know, better than a morphine drip kind of way of making the transition. And but we know, for example, that this scientist named Dr. James Rogan worked for the United States Air Force, working with pilots, accelerating them in a centrifuge, and they would black out. This is part of their training. You know, 2 Gs, 3 Gs, 4 Gs, boom, out you go at some point, like 10 Gs. And most of them have these little dreamlet states that he called them, which are kind of like I saw a tunnel, a white light at the end of the tunnel. I felt myself floating out of the seat and having these sort of weird experiences. And we know exactly what that is. You know, the blood is being compressed to the center of the body, including the center of the brain. The last thing to go is your brainstem, of course, to keep you alive. So the cortex is shutting down from the outside in. That would create this kind of tunneling effect on the back of your skull where your visual cortex is. That would create some of that. Open brain surgeries. These are on epileptic patients where they cut them open and they poke around to see where the seizures are starting, and so they could, you know, zap those neurons instead of some big crude attack. And anyway, so while they're doing that, they get permission from the patient to wake them up while they're under, and the brain is open, and they tap around with electrodes. So this is one way to map what the brain is doing. If you know, so what do you report when I tap here? Oh, I just had a vision of my 10th birthday or whatever, and it's like, okay, that's where that's stored right there. Well, there's another spot right on the temporal lobes just above your ears where you can tap it and the person says, oh, I'm floating out of my body, I'm up by the ceiling now. And you tap a little to the left, oh, my left leg is up, my right leg is up, now my left arm is floating, my right arm is floating, I'm way up here now I'm coming back down, just by, you know, with a rheostat, just controlling how much electricity is going into the neurons in that one particular spot. So we know for sure that the near-death experiences are in the brain. You know, the experiences that the people report are real. They have experience. But we know it's neurologically based. Now, the counter argument is, yes, of course, you have to have your brain to have experiences, but it's kind of like a doors of perception opening into this other realm that these chemicals allow you to do. It's like by the way, I've been talking with Graham Hancock about ayahuasca. He's invited me to come join him in Rhythmia in Costa Rica to try this. I've never tried this, and I'm tempted to go do this to say, okay, if I'm going to write about these things, I should experience it. But there's a debate amongst people who do this that, is it strictly just in your head and you're not actually going anywhere, or does it open some door to some other dimension? Okay, that's kind of and so the near-death experience believers counter that. Well, yes, it's in your brain, but it still is taking you somewhere else. The problem is that how do you tell the difference between I had a personal experience that the only way you can share it is if you actually go through it yourself. For a scientific community that studies it, well, there has to be some way to test it somehow or tell the difference between that. So, for example,
is that the limitations of the scientific method,
yes,
though?
Yes,
because when you're dealing with consciousness and you're dealing with memories and dreams and ideas, like, you can't measure those either.
That's right. So I quote two other sources. Okay, so first of all, I discuss the most famous example is Eben Alexander's trip to heaven. He wrote a book called Proof of Heaven. Now, this is a Harvard-trained neurologist. He knows more about the brain than I do. And so he knows all the research I'm talking to you about, and there's a lot more. So, but for him, it was so powerful. And, okay, what's it like? So he talks about it in his book. He was in a coma in a hospital. Okay, so he takes this trip, and the colors were unbelievably intense and rich, and I felt just deep personal love for the people I saw and oneness with the cosmos and all. He goes on and on about this. So then I quote from Oliver Sacks's memoir when he talks about in the 60s when he was dropping acid and the colors were incredibly intense and I had this incredible feeling of love and connecting. And I quote from Sam Harris's the opening pages of Waking Up. I took ecstasy and I'm sitting there on the couch with my buddy and all of a sudden I feel this intense love for my friend. In other words, the narratives are indistinguishable to an outsider. So how do you know that you're actually going to heaven or you're just having a fantastic trip?
Well, it's entirely possible it's both.
Well, so how do we know? So
we don't know. I think the real problem is people saying that they know.
Right.
Right. Saying that I know that I was in another dimension.
Right.
I know. I mean, it's entirely possible that your consciousness is capable of going through these chemical doorways that are created by these molecules, and that it experiences some frequency on the dial. Like if there's a radio dial, maybe we're at 95.5, but you can get to 97 if you take X amount of milligrams of dimethyltryptamine, and then you go to this new place. But you're still physically here.
Aldous Huxley's book, The Doors of Perception.
Yes.
Which supposedly is where the Doors got their name, but no. Somebody told me that's a meme that's not true. I don't know. Anyway, but that's the idea, yeah. Sounds good. So, but really what you're getting at is a super core problem of what is truth. How do you know? So mystical experiences are by definition personal, and you can't corroborate them through some external scientific method. So, I mean, science is based on the act that we can falsify a claim. We can test it somehow. And that it's not just me pointing to something and say, I think that's true because I experienced that. So I wrote a column in Scientific American about this called What is Truth? So I start off with like, well, the truth for me is that dark chocolate's better than milk chocolate. And maybe you say, no, milk chocolate's better than dark chocolate. And then, there's no way we're going to resolve that.
But is that truth or is that's just preference?
That's an internal state. Or I say, the other example I use is, Stairway to Heaven is the greatest rock song of all time. And then you go, no, Freebird is better than Stairway to... Okay. You can't resolve these things, right? So you slide there into things like these personal experiences we have. So, so what I think Graham is hoping, if I go to Rhythmia and try ayahuasca and I say, wow, I report this fantastic experience I had. Presumably I'll have this. And then it'll be, well, did I, Michael Shermer, go to this other dimension? And now I really kind of, as a skeptic, need to renounce my pure materialistic, monistic belief and admit there's a dualistic, there's another side, there's a spirit side or something. And I'm not at all sure I could do that, because how would I get out of my own head and say, I know for sure that I went to this other place? Because I wouldn't know.
The Ultimate Fighter.
Correct.
He really couldn't train properly with it. Yeah, it's going to be a different animal in the future when people aren't worried as much about permanent damage.
Right. I hope I need it because I do a lot of permanent damage.
Yeah, most damage today is permanent damage.
All these wild excursions I go on.
Yeah, tell me about the cave dive.
So you want to learn about cave diving? Okay. So, first of all, cave wants to take you. She takes you, so you learn about all these different rules of the water and of the nitrogen levels that you're taking into your body. Anyway, cave diving is about 5 years in. I got my certification in high school, and I am a super cave diver, man. I love it. I love it. I love diving. I love everything about diving. I love ship diving. Cenote days, caves, you name it. I love it. So we were in Cozumel a couple weeks ago, and one of my old, you could almost call him an instructor. He's taught me a lot of what I know about diving today. We dove 3 or 4 days with some buddies of mine that were down in Cozumel. Just went through some ships, went through some just the coral reef, just playing around, diving with them. And then we go and do a serious dive. He's getting a little bit older. His mind is still very, very, very sharp, but his motor skills don't keep up with him much anymore, right? And in cave diving, it's very necessity that you need. So we jump in this cave. Let's rewind to 20 minutes. I just kissed my girl and my new baby, and she's like, I don't really want you to go, like, right? I don't want to say his name, but the guy you're going with, like, I'm worried. I said, what are you worried about? I said, I'm coming home. Like, this is what I come home every time. I'm coming home. Fuck, I don't know. So I order another cylinder of air just for extra. I have 2 originally I'm going with. I order another cylinder of air, just to fucking have it, right? No one's ever died because they have too much air. In cave diving, you dive in third. So if we have 300 PSI, we'll do 1,000 PSI in. We'll do 1,000 PSI out, and we have 1,000 PSI in case something fucking happens. Also in cave diving, they have lines. You run these in a cave. They'll already have a line run. A bunch of guys like me, tech divers, have gone into caves, they discovered them, they mapped them, they named them, and they put lines so you can follow them in case something happens, right? Get in and get out. Lines and lines, and none of the lines really connect except for like the main lines. They'll have like 3 or 4 main lines down big channels of a cave because caves are huge, right? From an entrance to the main line, usually no one has a cave. You have to make it what's called a jump. You have to make your own line because they just don't want someone listening on here today to go find a cave, jump in, swim down, and be able to get in and out and get lost in there. Now all of a sudden we have a Thailand incident. We're fucking wanting to save people. So we make a jump, tie off. You put these direction arrows down. They're called cookies, right? Pointing out towards the direction out of the cave. So that way if something happens, you come out. When you make a jump, you take your light, you wrap it around your neck, and then you have 2 hands to work on the line. The guy I was with didn't follow some of our rules. And in cave diving, it's kind of an unwritten fact that you only worry about you. I'm coming home, right? I'm fucking staying alive. So if Joe, me and I were cave diving, if something were to happen, I'm not going in there to get you. No reason for 2 of us to die when only one's in there can die. So he tries to tie off. His buoyancy fucking hits the roof of the cave, kicks his feet, spins, and now all of a sudden this line that's supposed to be tied off, which is our fucking lifeline, is now wrapped around him. So I swim over to him and I try to help him unhook this line, and he goes into panic, and panic kills everybody involved. Everybody involved dies with panic, and that's something that I can't express enough. So he starts fucking freaking out, hitting the roof, spinning, silt fucking everywhere, and I just back out. Take about 4 or 5 big, strong steps back, and I grab a hold of the main line. Now it's silting out. Now when I say something's silting out, there's all this like sediment that ends on the bottom of these caves, and you're in like a little tiny room. So if you kick your fin hard, it kicks up like dark dust, mud, sediment, silt. You can't fucking see anything. Blacks it out. So I back out of the silt. I grab the line. And I see him in there fucking freaking and panicking, spinning and rolling around and getting all caught up in this line. And I'm like, fuck. But I just stay calm. This was the exit. I know where it is because I know where I am. There's the exit. He was making a jump to go down another tunnel. There he is. Now, what I just tell you about the rule that someone comes home, right? I broke the rule, and I went in to get him. I said, fucking goddamn. So I let go of the line. And I go in to get him because his light fucking is off now. And I'm thinking, goddamn it, he spun up in this line. His light's off. Did he drop his regulator? Does he have air? Is he okay? Soon as I go into the sill, fucking lose everything, man. Lose my way, where I am, my up, my down. I don't know where I am. I'm fucking panicking now. I'm panicking. Fucking freaking out more than any I've ever. Breathing hard. Bang. Hit my head on the fucking ceiling. And I just close my eyes and I'm like, God damn it, cowboy, calm the fuck down, calm the fuck down, calm the fuck down. Breathe. Can't even see my hands in front of me. I have 2 watches on. They're glowing, right? Those are my, to let me know my depth, my time, everything, right? I have two dive computers. I check them. I look. I calm. I check my light. I got to turn my light and burn my our pressure gauges. They're glow in the dark, right? So I charge it with my light, and I look at it. Okay, air. Check my second one. Okay, air. I know my third one's good because I haven't even opened it yet. That's just in case. I breathe down, I fucking think, and I can't even see my hands in front of me. And to this day, I close my eyes, and it gives me nightmares right now, just thinking about it. Cloudy, dark, can't see anything. All I can see is the hum of my light. So I turn my light off, and I'm trying to think, like, all right, just calm yourself, figure this out. Where's our partner? I start feeling around, and he's nowhere to be found, right? Nowhere to be found. So I'm now calm myself a little bit. And I start feeling the walls, and I start moving around. I'm trying to think, where am I? But I don't know because we haven't been down this channel yet, so I don't visually haven't made an imprint of, oh, there's that, there's this, right? Kind of like a mental imprint in my mind because that's what we're doing as we're coming in, landmarks, right? I don't have any of those. I don't have any feel. I don't have any touch. And I'm moving around. I took a compass reading of the direction of the front when we tied off at the first jump. Right? So I know 126 degrees is the way out. But in a cave, they twist and they move and they're up and they're big and they're deep and they're low, right? There's no like rhyme or reason how the water made the cave. So it's kind of a direction I can think of. The first thing that comes to my mind, and I start swimming that way. Now I hit a wall, boom. And I go down and hit a wall. And I'm fucking in panic mode again. I fucking swim. Now I just start swimming and kicking and fucking going crazy. I make my way out of the silt and I fucking turn around and I'm back on the main line. Right? I find the main line to the cave again, which is 800 yards to the front, to the door. I grab a hold of the main line. I fucking reel it in again. Okay. Now, the entire behind me, deeper into the cave is free. It's no problem. Silt free. I can see everything's good. Where I need to go is fucking silted out and blown, gone, completely fucking washed. I couldn't see you sitting there, but I can see everything behind us. I can't see you. I have the main line, but I don't have the jump line to get the fuck out. So I started thinking, I was looking at the cave maps, trying, like, before we went, just try to get a visualizer of the direction. I'm trying to remember landmarks. But I can't see anything and I can't feel, and I'm like, fuck, there was a split up here. So I go back into the silt again, and I start feeling around, and I'm feeling, and I find a hole, and I'm like, is that the right way? Is that the one I want to go down? Where does that one go? Okay, maybe remember. That's not okay. Let's go to this next one. I go into the next one, and now this is where it's got to be. I'm going, but all of a sudden, I'm swimming against the current. And I remember when I came into this cave, there was this very slow current, which is why the entire cave is now washed out from that point on, right? The current is taking out. So I'm like, fuck, you're swimming against the current, so you're going the wrong way. I somehow worked that into my fucking panic mind. Like, we're swimming into the current, we're going the wrong way. So I fucking turn, swim back. I'm back on the fucking main line again, right? I find the main line. It's clear, out into the clear, main line. Fuck. I start like hyperventilating and panicking, and I'm thinking, man, you piece of shit. This is how people die. What the fuck are you? right? And I'm keep reminding, kissing my wife and keep my kids saying, I'm coming home today. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. So I do it again. I fucking venture into the fucking great unknown fucking abyss, total blackout. Another panic, fucking freak out, can't find my way, hitting my head, kicking, losing air by the fucking second, bro. Because now I'm breathing hard, I'm breathing fucking irrational, and I'm sucking my tanks dry, right? Mind you, I'm on air, so I don't have, there's no answer to this after I breathe my last breath. Keep checking everything, keep keeping my time, looking in direction, time, air, time, fuck, slow down. Now I'm in pitch fucking black, can't see anything, trying to figure out where I'm at, what I'm thinking, what am I doing? Okay, we're running out of air. How much time do we have, Cowboy? We're at 28 feet. I know we're at 28 feet. I could probably breathe on this for about another hour, on this tank another hour, so we got another hour, okay. We've been in here fucking 38 minutes already. What are we gonna do? Start trying to find my way out. I can't. Trying to find my way out. I can't. Now I start thinking, what am I going to do? I'm not going to drown, Joe. Drowning is like my biggest fear of my life. So we have a thing that's called a BC, and we carry it on our back. It's a buoyancy control device. That's how you control your buoyancy when you're scuba diving, right? It probably holds 20 big, huge, strong breaths. So I fill that motherfucker up. This is my plan. I'm going to fill my BC up, which throws me to the top of the cave. Bonk, right? Now I got to flip upside down, and I have to like crawl on the ceiling trying to figure out where the fuck I am. Now I got to get out of a cave upside down. And I'm thinking, all right, we've switched to our last bit of air. How are we going to do this, Cowboy? What are we going to do? We filled our BC up. When I run out of air, I'm now thinking in my mind, how am I going to die, Joe? Right? Tell my wife, tell my kid, I'm coming home. Now I got to fucking realize, how am I going to die? I have a notepad that you carry in your pocket to draw and write on. I'm thinking, what are you going to say? What's your letter going to be? You're writing a fucking death letter? You're awake. You're a fighter. We figured this out. You don't fucking find a way to quit, you fucking bitch. This is the conversation I'm having with myself while I'm in fucking complete panic mode and complete darkness, thinking that this is how people die. What the fuck are you doing? You're gonna write a letter to your fucking kid and tell her how you fucked up? I'm sorry, daddy's not coming home. So I'm fucking thinking, I'm not going to drown. I'm not going to breathe my last breath. So I'm going to breathe this BC that I just filled up with air, and I'm going to fucking breathe it until the oxygen level no longer happens and I just pass out. That's what I've come to realize how I'm going to die. I'm going to fucking just slip away and pass out, keep breathing the same air until I go away. And I start thinking, you fucking piece of shit. You're giving up, like you're having like legitimate conversations with myself while fucking in complete panic. Like you're gonna quit. That you're writing a letter and you're gonna fucking breathe your last air until you pass out. You fucking pussy. You're a fighter. Figure the fuck out. So I'm upside down. I'm crawling on the ceiling. And I remember when I came in. We came in the big cave and there's like a huge fucking crack that runs along the top. Turn both my watches off now at this point because they're giving off light, and I kill my light. I said that crack's gonna fucking lead to the surface. That crack's gonna fucking give us something. So I just start panicking again because I'm panicking and I don't know what to do. I'm sucking air and I'm fucking breathing hard and I'm hyperventilating. And I'm crawling on the ceiling, looking for this fucking crack, and goddamn it, I found it. I found the crack, and I followed the crack, and the crack got bigger, and all of a sudden I see fucking glow, like green glow, crawling, find it, try to get up, my tanks are too big, I can't fucking get out of the little hole. I can't get out of the hole, I'm fucking, bink, fucking hitting, screaming, freaking out. Calm down, cowboy, this is the way, calm the fuck down, reel it in, we're here, we made it. Grab control. Follow the crack some more, opens up, out, boom, there's the cave, fucking I'm out. Made it. You're coming home. You want to talk about, whoa, motherfucking whoa, right? That was the feeling. Meanwhile, my guy's out there. I can't even be mad at him because he panicked, he grabbed the line, he fucking ran out the hole. And he looks at me and he says, so we're not diving together ever again, are we? I said, no, that was it. That was it. And I text my girl, I love you, baby. And today was a fucking scary moment. But daddy's coming home. And it was fucking so crazy because that was, I mean, I've almost died numerous times, but almost dying slowly, which puts it in perspective to me, like, these guys on death row, I always thought, like, yeah, fucking kill a murderer, man. That's, fuck them. Dude, knowing the time and how much time you have left, that's some scary shit, Joe. Knowing that you have 2 hours left.
How much air do you have left?